All right, kids, let me tell you a little story. Come closer. Come closer. All right, not that close. All right. Let me tell you a little story about a client of ours who took our CCW class and in the last 6 to 7 months actually had an encounter and had to deal with the aftermath. By the way, client has asked to remain anonymous for his own reasons, and that's all well and good. So we're just going to go ahead and use general terms for this story. Guy was hanging out in his garage doing some work around the house. He has his dog with him, and his dog is a trained working dog. So out of nowhere, the dog started going berserk, which is obviously out of character. So neighbor comes over and informs him that their common neighbor is the house is getting broken into. Now, a couple details about this neighbor is that she happens to be an elderly woman. She lives by herself, and our guy is aware of this. He's friends with her, that kind of thing. So he's in tune to what's going on. He knows at this point in time that this is a weird situation. So bad guy's trying to enter through the back side. He goes in through the front side. And now in his mind, he's not wanting to kill anybody, and that's a great thing. We don't want to kill anybody. So he pretty much, in his mind, set his parameters of what his go, no-go criteria were, which is actually something that I encourage everybody to do. Really think about, what you're willing to shoot and no shoot over before you actually have to do it. So he did that, which is a very good thing. So he goes over, he's in the house, he sees bad guy trying to make entry through the backside, and he challenges that bad guy and tells him to stop, sit down, stay where he is, cops are on the way, basically hold him. Now, the thing was he's doing this recessed inside and there's a screen door barrier between him and the bad guy. So he has the ability to see bad guy. Bad guy doesn't really have the ability to see him in his entirety. Bad guy essentially semi-complies. And now we're getting to the point where sheriff's deputies arrive. Now, let's put into perspective the response time here, folks. Now, average response time is something to the tune of 8 to 10 minutes nationally on a high-stress call like, say, this one. We have an active home invasion, and in this particular incident, it took law enforcement over 15 minutes to actually arrive on this call. Now, 15 minutes, most people are like, ha! Depending on where you live, that might be really fast. Other parts, that might be slow. But think about it. You have a firearm, you're holding this guy and challenging him for a matter of 15 minutes. In class, I see people having a hard time challenging somebody for 10 seconds, let alone 15 minutes. So that is an eternity in gunfight world. So this occurs, this holding, challenging occurs for about 15 minutes in multiple languages, of course, too. It's both Spanish and English. Thankfully, our guy is bilingual. So deputies finally arrive, and our bad guy attempts to make one last-ditch effort to evade, but our guy makes a conscious effort now that the deputies are on scene. He's hands off, and he does not pursue. Deputies go ahead and apprehend the guy. Just wanted to give a story about that because now he's having to deal with the aftermath. And let's talk about that brief aftermath that occurred. So he had to obviously speak with the deputies, and he's amped up, but he's having to walk through the deputies as far as like what happened and this and that. And little anecdotal point on this one is that when he was talking with the deputies, his gun was visible in its holstered compartment, and luckily the deputies were smart enough, experienced enough, seasoned enough to know, okay, yeah, gun, but this guy is not the bad guy, right? So they didn't go bananas on that guy. So the thing to note here is maybe if it were more rookie deputies, they might go bananas on him. So make sure that post engagements, you're properly putting your gun away if it calls for that and things like that. So that way we don't have any mix-ups. So he talks to deputies. Everything was chill after that. Didn't get arrested. Everything checked out. But our guy did the right thing. And the funny thing is, I happen to know this guy. He's trained with us several times. The funny thing is, I remember him sitting in our CCW class, and we're talking about the challenge drill, we're talking about this and talking about that, and all these types of less than lethal, if you will, criteria. And he's kind of like challenging me as, when would I ever use this? Why would I ever use this? And so on and so forth. Well, I got a call from him maybe the same day or the next day after. And he's like, dude, the stuff that you mentioned in class happened to the T. I'm like, cool story. I mean, you know, I'm glad for him that he's safe, his neighbor's safe, and everything went smoothly for him. And at the secondary to that, I was happy to hear that the training that we provided helped him on the spot and helped him navigate a very hairy situation. So just a little anecdotal story as we're talking about the aftermath of these defensive encounters. And folks, this is another reason why our CCW class isn't about picking up a gun from the table and shooting 8 rounds at 3, 5, and 7. What is that? What do you learn from that? Okay? Folks, this is something that we do. I put my heart and passion into this because I love this stuff. If you're gonna train, train right. If you think all gun laws are an infringement and you live behind the enemy lines in the People's Republic of California, then check out our Unconvicted Felons t-shirt. We came out with this t-shirt design for you where most of us are fed up with the situation here in California. So check it out. Check out our website. Awesome t-shirt coming at you, and our new line of 2 arms where it stands for 2A Rights Matter. So check out our new t-shirt and help us feed our dog.